Wow. Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, believe it or not. Yes, it's still me, and I am not a hologram. Somebody was writing that Greg is a hologram. I'm real. Anyway, look, guys, I missed all of you. It's been a week to the day, and I really do hope. Can you hear me? Number one, somebody let me know because I hate this thing. This thing is just crazy. If you can hear me, anyway, thank you, Dimitri. I appreciate that. December 27, 2024. A lot of stuff going on. Look, with the market here, we really ended off kind of where we began, but we'll talk about that in a second. Let me just tell you what happened here. Okay. I was supposed to be with you guys this morning. That's what I said. So I ended up catching a cruise out of Tampa, a Christmas theme cruise. Let me tell you something, you guys and girls, if you never had a chance to do that, do it. It's fantastic. You're going to love it. It was an absolute blast. All right. So got back yesterday afternoon, and we keep our dogs in like a little doggy spot. They treat the dogs better than people. And when we went to get Vega, she had a very inflamed eye with discharge coming out of it. So we're like, oh, this is just not good. What happened? And the people there said, well, she was fine. And then she woke up like that. We didn't know what happened. So anyway, brought it to the veterinarian, our veterinarian over here. Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you. And the vet freaked out. She's like, well, this is a melting eye ulcer. Like, a melting eye ulcer. Lovely. Okay, what do we do? She's like, we have to keep her overnight. We're going to put her on medications overnight. She needs it every hour. And then you guys got to get her over to the specialist. So went over there this morning to see the doggy ophthalmologist. And they were like, okay, the eye's really bad. But we can't do surgery on the eye because it's too inflamed. It's too infected. So we're going to put her on these medications, treat it medically. She's on 6 different eye drops and medication by mouth as well. And we have to go back Monday to see what's going on with that. But honestly, since overnight she was in the doggy hospital, she's already looking better. So I think that's pretty good. At least it's good news. And she seems to be pretty okay. She's much more comfortable now than she was. Anyway, it's kind of a sad thing. So with that, unfortunately, I was not able to get out here to be with you guys and girls. Maybe it's bird flu. I know it's everywhere. You see what they're doing? You see what they're doing? They already told us. They told us 6 months ago. They always tell you what they're going to do before they do it. With regard to the bird flu, puppy press, thank you. They were going to have millions of vaccines ready. I got to be really careful what I say here. You all know that. Anyway. Put silver on her eye. That might actually work, honestly, But anyway, it's no surprise that happened. And with regard to this market, so let's talk about this. Just back up, okay? So Wednesday we had the Fed. They were lowering rates and everything was going to be lovely and fantastic. The market cratered like 1,100. We started to come back a little bit. The market tried to. Nothing goes straight down. We went down hard. We got a little bit of a bounce, which seemed to give it all back pretty much. Now, we have a problem here. We got a big problem. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is the MMRI from today here. This is where we are at the market close. Now, I want you to see something. This is in April when the MMRI peaked, okay? Now, I'm not saying we've peaked here at all. I got this wrong. You all know that. I did not expect to see this massive sell-off. In fact, nobody did. It's interesting. Let me go back to that in a moment. First of all, this is how we ended the day today. But again, with regard to the stock market, we ended up really where we ended off pretty much here. Now, there's a lot of talk about what's happening here in the debt market. Now, what the Fed did, let me show you something real quick. This is 1 year of the yield curve. Now, the Fed lowering rates on Wednesday here, what it did do was actually cause the long end of the curve to go up. And obviously the market hated it. We saw a big sell-off. And I love things. I love it when things go the way we believe they're going to go. What did we say? If we got par, federal funds rate, 10-year yield, we're going to have a problem. Well, we had a problem. We still have that issue here. So the yield curve is essentially flat. I mean, maybe not completely flat, but then you got this bump here in the end. Now, you have to all know that starting June of this year, the Fed got in here and started what's called yield curve control, rigging the yield curve to try to inspire confidence in the stock market, which has been on a tear like we can't possibly believe right up until very recently. Now, with that, let's talk. So, as I said, this is April. In April, when we were peaking, this is what the S&P 500 did. It got slammed. So we may not have seen anything yet. Now, I'm going to just show you this again real quick. This is April. This is what happened to the S&P 500 when the MMRI was peaking where we are now. A lot of people say, Greg, the MMRI crossed 300 and nothing happened before. Duh. I hate to use the word duh, but it's just too stupid. If you pay any attention, so this is what happened. Now we're peaking now, which means we may have not seen anything yet with regard to the debt market. Well, first of all, the debt market window, we don't even know if we're peaking here. We just kind of, we peaked here quite obviously. This may get worse. We could see this get monumentally worse. Look, the debt market is a time bomb. I've been telling you this for years. It's ticking faster. It's ticking louder. It's a disaster area waiting to happen. Now, what do you think is going to happen? Let's look back just till April. We saw what happened here with regard to. Is that my? No, this is what I wanted to show you right there. The S&P 500. You see that? So that's what happened here. We're here now, and we got this sell-off. Okay, nothing dramatic. 1,100 points. The markets tried to come back, gave it back pretty much. So what I'm saying is, we may not be done here by a long shot. If this is going to mean anything, but we'll see. This could turn around if this starts to drop. Okay, and I'm not look, man. I'm done with trying to figure this out. It's just gone crazy. But understanding the mechanism here, if this goes down, you would expect the stock market to pick up. If this breaks out higher, could you only imagine what's going to happen to the S&P 500? It ain't going to be the stock market overall. It's not going to be pretty. And it could get extremely dramatic. Now, we got a few things going on here. Talk about the debt market. Look, we're not the only people watching the debt market here. I think we're pretty much on the same page. Now, let me just show you a few other things just real quick. So this is Barron's. The Fed is battling the bond market. They're in a fight of their lives here to avoid a knife fight. We're on a collision course. Again, the stock market, actually everything is dependent on what's happening in the debt market. You all know that. I don't give a damn, and I really don't, what happens in the stock market, because I know the stock market is going to derive value from what's happening in the debt market. Do we need more proof of that? Again, here you go. S&P 500 peaking in April with regard to the peaking of the MMRI. I mean, hopefully you see what's going on here. Anyway, this was the 10-year yield today where we ended. This is not pretty. Here, honestly. This again, and let me just read this to you. So with regard to this so-called Fed battling the bond market, let me read just a paragraph here. While the central bank, Federal Reserve, has been cutting rates since September, long-term bond yields have been going in the opposite direction. I just showed you what that looked like. It's an incredible thing. Again, look, you got this issue here with the yield curve, and that's a problem. It could present a major issue. Long-term bond yields have been going in the opposite direction, rising sharply. All right. Now, stock investors are getting, a little rattled by this, and clearly we've seen what's happening. Anyway, now with regard to this nonsense, again, inflation is sticky. It's sticking around. It's worse than anybody thought it was going to be, except you and me, because they're on a mission to destroy us all. They're not going to stop. This mechanism of artificially suppressed rates here is meant to drive the stock market higher, but they got a problem here. Again, the system, as you all know, people, let me just say this again to maybe some of you that are new here. We are beyond debt saturated. But the fact of the matter is, there's not enough debt. I know it's a paradox, but the fact of the matter is the system is absolutely illiquid. It must be fueled with more debt into the system every second of every single day. Now, real quick, I wasn't even going to mention this, but I'm going to anyway, because it's just too stupid. So this is a headline today, CNBC. Let me read this to you real quick. So the economic outlook for 2025 is strong. Our economy is booming now, according to these same people. Let me tell you what's a lock here for 2025. Number one, much higher debts and deficits. If you think that this is going to be fixed because of Doge or because of we're going to get rid of this, that, and the other thing, ain't happening. What you're about to see with regard to debts and deficits is going to spin your head around like the freaking exorcist. That's number one. Number two, a much higher cost of living. And number three, and these two tie together, a much lower standard of living. We are going to see, and I've been telling you this for many, many months, currency devaluation on an epic scale. If you think you've seen a lot with regard to inflation here, how inflation is sticky now, you haven't seen anything yet. It's going to get monumentally worse. It cannot be fixed, especially in this environment where you got the central bank here lowering rates. Okay, with the new illustrious one going to be behind the resolute desk, also promising you low rates, which is the polar opposite of what you need. You need stronger currency to make sure that your purchasing power is kept, but your purchasing power is going to be sucked out so fast moving forward, your head's going to spin around like the freaking exorcist. Now, I wrote a fourth thing here, and that's debt market ? The debt market is, again, the key to this entire disaster. Is it going to go off? We're going to find out soon enough here, and we're going to be keeping our eye on the MMRI. People, I really hope you're utilizing this tool. I mean, and just to show you, again, how useful this is, it's an amazing thing. I mean, look at what happened the last time the MMRI peaked. I don't know if we're peaking here. I have no idea, nor do I even want to guess. Look, you guys and girls are just as good at this as I am, okay? So I don't know. What do you think? You think we've peaked now, or are we going to see a more substantial sell-off in the long end of the yield curve that the Fed doesn't want to see? That means they're going to have to get in there and buy more debt. And if they do that, what does it mean? Currency devaluation as well. The bottom line is, look, man, we're going to see extreme currency devaluation. That's my theme for next year. And it's not just going to be here in the United States. Again, central banks who run the monetary system, they run the financial system and the financial markets. It's not presidents. No, it isn't, believe it or not. Even if they're wearing a red hat, they don't run the financial system. It's run by the central banks. You understand? Kings, queens, dictators, and monarchs, they don't run it. It's the central banks. Now, something interesting is going on, and you and I called it. What did we say when we found out that Trump said we're going to be adding cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, to the strategic reserves, made the announcement to our strategic reserves? Let's announce it to the world and let them all know what we're doing as a strategy. Obviously, a very bad strategy. Tyler, thank you. What did we say? Well, now that that's been announced to the rest of the world, we're adding this to our strategic reserve. We're a great strategy. Let's announce our strategy to the world. What did we say was going to happen? Other nations were going to do it. And now it appears Putin is now following Trump's Bitcoin embrace. Now, let me read this to you. It's kind of interesting. The Russian government, as you all know, at least I hope you do, has been a historic opponent of Bitcoin, banning its use for domestic payments. But now, because our illustrious new president made the announcement to the rest of the world that, this is a great move, well, everybody else is doing, but this is a bridge. And look, Russia's doing it. There's going to be looks like 80% of you who are taking this poll now believe. There's no doubt about it. Watch what's going to happen. The announcement, this should never have been announced, okay? Imagine telling the world and your enemies what you're going to do before you do it. You get stuff like this, man. So anyway, Russia's now seeking potential benefits using Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to evade U.S. and Western sanctions. Of course they are. You got to be stupid not to. I mean, come on, man. That's exactly what I said I would do. I told you guys, go back to the video. I said, okay, if I were Russia, if I were one of the BRICS nations or anybody else here, I would, well, let's just do it. But this is bigger than that, and you all know that. We're being bridged into the new system, and it's happening extremely fast. The dollar's being phased out. You all know that. New system, they have to first build the bridge by using cryptocurrencies. We're going to a tokenized system here, not the BRICS nations. They don't want this thing, but Putin and other, I don't even want to call them world leaders, whatever the heck they are, okay, are now going to, be weaponizing the system that Trump is going to make so great. We're making America great again. Meanwhile, he's building his guitars in Indonesia. He's still doing it. Did you know that? Yes. He's making America great again, in case you were wondering, by having his guitars that he's selling made in Indonesia, Indonesian factories, not American factories. That's how we make America great again. Doesn't that bother you a little bit? Bothers me, as you can well see. But that's okay, right? Let's see how many of you Trump supporters think it's fine that he's building his guitars in Indonesia. We're supposed to build back, make America great again. And we were supposed to build back our factories here and have them all come back. And everyone's going to want our products and our dollar. Of course, that's not true. Anyway, guys. Yes, you're correct. Trump had a big 180 with regard to Bitcoin. I know you're probably joking here, but yeah, he's made a big turnaround now. Not only is the crypto king, which has now vaulted Bitcoin to nearly 100 grand. And let me show you something else here just real quick while we're talking. How about this? Bitcoin could grow to 200,000. I think it's a lock. Especially again, however this is going to happen. They're still talking about how they're going to pay for Bitcoin selling US gold, which we probably don't have anyway, right? But the Fed's going to have to create the currency. But what did Powell tell you? Bitcoin is just like gold. It's just digital. Make it up. Make any of this stuff up. You can't possibly do it. Anyway, now look, what I want you to take away from this video, honestly, you all know that I'm out of this market. I got out. I think I got out at the right time, and I know a lot of you followed along. We are in no rush, zero, to get back in here. I want to see how this is going to play out. I want to see what's going to happen here. Again, look, man, I don't know another way to show this to you. I'm going to show you again. Right here, that's what happened to the S&P 500 when we peaked. Do you see how disgusting that is? Who knows what's going to happen now? We may have just got the first shot fired across the bow. This thing could crater. We got to see look, man, the Fed could get in here today. All right. Start buying more of the long end of the yield curve, which would obviously push it down. Where did I put that thing? It doesn't matter. I showed you before, right? With the yield curve, with the bump. My desk is a disaster. I'm really going to clean it. I promise you. I really am. Anyway, so the Fed could get in here, start buying more debt, push the yield curve down. The market will probably get all giddy and orgasmic, and will go up, or not. We just got to see how this is going to play out. Look, you have to understand what the goal is here. The goal is obviously a wealth transfer effect on a massive scale, like we've never seen in the history of the world. Right up to the 1% and 2%. The 1% and 2%. The 1% and 2%. Where does it come from? It comes from you. It comes from currency devaluation by easy money creation out of nothing. And understanding that our system is completely illiquid and it can't function without more debt being pumped into it. As we're being bridged into the new system, you can only imagine where this is going to go. I mean, this it's just epic on a massive scale. Greg's recession is over, lasted 4 weeks. I don't even understand that. We are well. Look, man, people getting wiped out. They're getting destroyed. They can't make ends meet. And this mechanism is exactly what I'm talking about. They're not done doing this to you. The middle class is being eradicated like insects, like bugs here. And not even people wearing a red hat is going to change it for you. It's only going to get monumentally worse. You were promised lower rates out of the red hat guy. That means currency devaluation. But the red hat guy, he can't tell you that, can he? No, because you see, then you get smart and you might say, well, we don't want this and we don't want to be the crypto capital of the world. We'd like to be returned to a constitutional money system. Yes, that's the US's constitution, but it's not happening. We're being pulled further and further and further and further and further and further away. You got it yet? Are you getting with it? Yeah, that's what's happening here. And that's why I am telling you that when you see a headline telling you how great everything is going to be in 2025, like I just showed you, you know the polar opposite is going to happen here, and it's a crazy. When you see, well, this is a fact that's going to happen. I would be stunned. We might even go beyond that. Especially with now, Putin's love affair, their bromance has now blossomed into a Bitcoin bromance and whatever else. So when you see something like that, how great our economy already is and how great we're going to be because the Red Hat guy said so, you know that this is going to get monumentally worse. Your standard of living is going to crater so badly. You guys and girls better get on the right side of this, man. You better start getting with the freaking program. Ain't crashing, stop already. It ain't crashing already. You don't see the economy? Duh. Tetrahedron, duh. I love that when people say that. The market, sure. The more we've already said this, that the worse off the economy gets, the higher the market's going to go. From how many years ago? Did we nail that one to the wall? Yeah, guess what we did? Yeah, we did. The debt market is the key, and you all know that. We'll see where this is going to go. Now we've reached par, breaking 300 with the MMRI from April. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting to see where this is going to go. My blood pressure is pretty damn good, actually. I lost a lot of weight. You remember when I was a lot heavier? My pressure was bad. Now it's normal. Anyway, guys and girls, I think we're kind of done here. Is there anything you guys and girls want to cover before we get out of here? Anything maybe this way, maybe that way? I'm glad to be back with you guys and girls. No, I'm not going to lick silver, Joe. I don't see a reason to lick it today. Maybe I'll put it on Vegas Eye. Maybe it would help. The S&P peaked. Pistol Pete, dude, bro, you saw what I just showed you? I don't know, man. It might have. It depends on what happens in the debt market. Look, this thing is on a knife's edge. I think we all know that. It wouldn't take much, honestly, to send this debt market into, a nightmare situation. And that's what they're going to do. This is everything here, people, that we have is not by accident. The fact that debts and deficits have gone out of control. Who makes up the difference? Tell me again. Tell Greg again, really. When we run, let's say, a massive trade deficit or the national debt keeps rising, who makes up? We can't keep running those. So who's more than willing to lend to make up that gap? Obviously, it's the Federal Reserve. Okay, we all know that. And when they do this, what's the effect on the currency? Weaker with regard to purchasing power. Sure. Right now, the dollar is the most beautiful belle at the ball. She's gorgeous. Relative strength compared to other currencies. You know that because we've been saying this is going to happen since time immemorial. But that doesn't mean that your purchasing power isn't getting evaporated. That's what they do. The CNBCs, the Bloombergs, the Fox Business. They tell you about how strong the dollar is on a relative or comparative strength, but they don't tell you that its absolute purchasing power is being destroyed, and that's what inflation actually is. If you ask people what inflation is, 90% of the zombies walking around the street, the prices are rising. Prices are rising. So you mean the currency is losing purchasing power? Then they look at you like, what, duh? Whoa, I don't understand that. I don't get it. They have no idea. Anyway, guys and girls, we know what we're doing. We're not gonna change it. But look, real quick before we get out of here, with regard to this stock market, I am out here. Been long this market for 7.5 years with not one single break, nothing. Right now, I want to see what's going to happen here. This thing could get out of control very, very fast. We'll see. I'm looking for an opportunity to get it back into the market, but I'm going to be buying, without any doubt, adding to my commodity, my hard assets, silver. Okay, right here. I'm going to be buying probably a lot of silver, a fair amount of gold. I would like to buy more XRP. I'd like to buy more Bitcoin. I would like to buy a few cryptos. When I do this stuff, I will announce it. I promise you that. Right now, I'm just sitting tight. I'm not doing nothing yet. If you subscribe to my free newsletter, link in the description of this video, you're gonna know what I'm doing. And I'm not, just because I'm doing it doesn't mean that you guys and girls need to do that. I can't even do that anymore. I got in trouble twice with the SEC. I got to be so careful what I say. I can tell you what I'm doing. I can't even suggest anything. I can get in trouble for that. It's ridiculous, man. But what can I tell you? Look, I'm still doing my best out here for all of you. We've done something fantastic, and I'm very, very proud of that. All right, guys and girls, before we get out of here till Sunday, we're gonna do our special thing. You know what we're gonna do, right? Is there anything that you guys and girls want to talk about before I get out of here? No, Roger, I won't be here tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday. I'll be here on Sunday for my markets. A look ahead. Miners, look, man, I don't own miners. People ask me these questions. Israel, thank you. GM, should I wait or take the? You're red in what? In the stock market? You could. I don't know, man. You got to evaluate your situation there. I don't even know what you're particularly talking about. But if you're in cryptocurrencies, I think they're going much, much higher. Gold and silver, hold on to them. Keep adding it to your position. But regard to the stock market, we got to see where this goes. I want to get back in here. I want to be long the market, but I want to see what's going to happen. I don't like where the MMRI is. Guys and girls, man, first of all, like I said, here's what's happening to the long end of the yield curve. It's doing the opposite of what the Fed, wants it to actually do. With regard to, let me see if I can find this for you guys again real quick. Just bear with me on this here. This is bad. This has bad written all over it, and I don't know another way to put it here. Again, April. This is what happened to the S&P 500 when this happened. That could happen again, and it could be much worse depending on what happens here. Guys, girls, listen to me. Every day you should be looking at this. Even if you're not in the stock market, you'll have an idea it's free. It's 100% free. There's a link in the description of this video. We are here. We are right here now. Are we going to break out above this? At one point, we're going to break off the page. It's going to melt down the stock markets around the world so fast again, your head's going to spin around the freaking exorcist, like the exorcist here. Follow this. I mean, it's free for you. If you guys and girls want to use it, I think you should pay attention to what's going on here. Look, a stock market meltdown on an epic scale is already baked in. That's their final solution to finish the wealth transfer, which we've been in the middle of for many, many years here. People can't get by, but the 1% and 2%ers, they're doing fantastic. They couldn't possibly be doing any better. Well, people can't make ends meet. This is exactly the scenario that you and I said was going to happen from I don't know how many freaking years ago. It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. So we got to play the game. It's become, like I said, I don't even like it anymore. It's become we have to survive. This has become a mode of survival for us. We got to stay ahead of the curve. Look, man, if you don't even, for how many years have I been saying, Ronix, thank you so much. They can help with TDS get some. Who's they? TDS isn't even a real thing. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. But that's okay. I think those that blame other ones for having TDS are the actual people who have it because they got some kind of God complex going on. And I think they're all going to end up losing big time. Anyway, but that's okay. But look, guys and girls, what am I saying here? With regard to Bitcoin and stuff, for how many years have I been saying, even if you don't like this stuff, you got to have some in your portfolio? If you listen to me from years and years ago, you've done exceedingly well. Gold and silver, people, you know how this is going to play out. Debt market meltdown is going to crush the stock markets around the world. And your cash doesn't grow little wings and just fly away to money heaven. It's going to move. It's going to move into commodities. I believe it's going to move into cryptocurrency. You haven't seen anything yet. You think that 100,000 or 94,000 Bitcoin is a lot right now? You haven't seen anything yet. I mean, I'm talking zero where that's going. And Anyway, look, guys and girls, I know I'm sitting here preaching to the choir. Bitcoin or an ETF? I'd rather own Bitcoin. I'd rather own it. I'd rather own it. I mean, you can gain exposure to things like that, commodity ETFs, but in this case here, I'd rather own Bitcoin. I'd rather own the actual assets here. Thank you, XMR 2024. I appreciate that. Bitcoin is a currency, not a commodity. Well, you can define it any way you want, my friend. I really don't give a damn. All I know is it's worth a lot more than when I bought it. So you can call it whatever you like. Don't matter. Anyway, guys, I hate when people have to have names on things. You wouldn't have to label it. It has to be this. Oh, no, don't say this because it's wrong. Does it really matter? No, it don't. I've been telling you this like forever. It's magic. All right, guys and girls, look, you, me, we're going to part ways just until Sunday. Just until Sunday. So bring it in. You ready? You know what we're going to do. Let's do it. Ready? Love each other. Care about each other. Be charitable. People, I missed all of you so much. I felt like a void. I'm not going to lie. I love being with you guys. I love these live streams, honestly. Thank you for being here. Thank you for those thumbs up. We could improve that. I mean, come on, man. We got almost 2,000 people here. We got 600 thumbs up. Help me out here. Help us out. This community needs to get bigger. It's up to you guys and girls. You share it. You share the videos. You get them out there. You give these videos a thumbs up. You comment. Say freaking anything. All right? The algorithms like it. Boom, boom, boom. I'll see you on Sunday, okay, for the markets to look ahead. And again, guys, you guys are just the best. I love you all with all I got, all right? So take care of yourselves, all right? I'll see you Sunday.